Not in my new school. There was a whole thing of, it was like the older people having sort of command over you, and you never had that sense of being able to do what you wanted because there was all these older people, 2 years older, 3 years older, being like aggressive and violent towards you, and they would use, like they would basically just hurt you and hurt your mates, and it would make you feel horrible because there were so many of them. And like I came home on the bus one day, and I got off and I went home to Mum, and I just couldn't cope because I'd seen one of my mates just like absolutely walloped on the bus, and he'd been just sitting there, and there'd been all these boys just come up to him and beat him, and I didn't like that because it didn't make you feel secure, and it was every day on the bus to from school, so it was sort of like always feeling threatened, and people would say stuff to you which would threaten you, and you just have to cope with it because there's nothing you can do really.
It's been happening a bit in year 6 because in year 5 it was year 4, I used to always like fight people, and I just was like, everyone used to be like, oh Joel, you're so cool, and then now I've been like more grown up and I don't want to fight so much, but everyone wants to fight now, and it's too late now, and now, well, I just don't know really. I just think I should try to act like tough, but not like fight or anything, and like be good in class, but still act tough.
So you feel like you've got to act tough when you go to your new school, do you?
Yeah.
Why is that? Have you heard stories about school?
Well, a lot of people respect if you're strong, so I thought it would be better if you didn't fight but act like tough. So, just like have that kind of, swagger kind of thing, that acting tough kind of thing, like people do.
I think everybody worries about bullying when their children start secondary school. And when I talk to my girls about this, they say, well, everybody has a little bit of that happening. It's how you respond to it. So if you can make out that it's not really bothering you, the bullies will get bored and they'll leave you alone. So that's how we kind of approached it when we talked about it.
I think as parents we are the least objective. I think we are so wrapped up on our own kids, we feel only we know them and understand them, and I think sometimes we can really limit them. And at that age they are ready to grow up a little bit, and my son really showed me. He far exceeded what anybody would have expected he could have dealt with. He dealt with difficult situations, he dealt with a difficult journey, and some of the things that happened on his school journey were horrendous. In fact, he only now tells me some of the things that really happened that he witnessed. But he learned how to manage himself and how to keep himself safe, which is they're really great skills.
So you're worried about him being bullied in some instances then?
I was really worried. He was really worried. He had one trial day before he started in year 7, and I dropped him off in the morning. And as I dropped him off at this new school and I saw all the other kids who'd be starting, and he went on his own, he didn't have any friends from his school, he knew no one there, and he looked different to all the other kids. He spoke differently to the other kids, and I thought, they're going to kill him. And I had to leave him there. I had no choice. I had to leave him. I had to say, I trust the school, I trust the teachers. And when I picked him up at the end of the day, he was white as a sheet. He got in the car, he wouldn't speak to me, and he's a really strong boy, but he was completely silent, and then within 5 minutes he was in tears, and he said, I will not survive if I go to this school. And that was in the July before the September start, and that was a terrible, terrible day, thinking, but this is where you're going to have to go, you don't have another choice. We didn't have another option. So we were very worried. But the fears didn't live up to the reality. It is a very aggressive culture in that school, and they had a culture, unfortunately, that the year 7s were to be beaten up. That was the thing. But my son plays rugby, so it's sad to say he wasn't the first choice to be a victim. And that was good for him, not so good for other boys. So the most difficult thing he dealt with was witnessing the violence to other children, and he found that very hard.